everyone. I hope you enjoyed the kickoff of our new series called Party Jesus, as we kicked it off last week at our in-person gathering. We're going to be taking the summer and sort of looking into the accounts in the gospel where Jesus encountered people and he had a meal with them, he went to different parties with them, and that kind of thing. We're looking at these things and just seeing the nuggets of truth and the treasures we get out of Scripture that will help us understand who Jesus is, why he came, and his transformative message he has for us. Sort of reminds me of a little passage, just one little verse in Psalms 19 where the psalmist wrote this. He said, talking about the nuggets of truth in Scripture, says, "They are more precious than gold. They have greater value than huge amounts of gold. They are sweeter than honey that is taken from the honeycomb." It just sort of reminds me how important it is as we sort of investigate, as we make our way through the Gospels and seeing Jesus interact with people. We're going to discover all these amazing, powerful, transformative truths. It reminds me of a number of years ago, about a year or two after Hurricane Katrina hit the southern coast and just devastated so much of our country. We were with a group of people who were down there for a youth conference, as well as doing mission work and helping people restore homes and things like that following Katrina, because it was so devastating. And on one particular day, we had a day off. And so Lori and I and some of our friends decided that we were going to go down the road just a little bit further into New Orleans and look around and just sort of visit New Orleans for the day. It was just going to be a cool little side trip to just get a break from all that we were doing. So we were down in New Orleans walking around. It began to rain, and we tried to find a place to duck out of the rain. We found this little small antique shop. It's just like a little hole-in-the-wall antique shop. And so we said, "Hey, it's raining, let's just jump in here." So we jumped into the little antique shop, just started looking around. It was sort of cool, but nothing super exciting. But then there was a woman who came out. Her name was Susan. She came out and began to talk to us, said, "Hey, do you know what this is over here?" And she started showing us some of these amazing little clocks and mechanical things. Or there was one display that had all these canes, and you open up, some would be a dagger, some would be a gun, some would be back during Prohibition era where they had like a little alcohol in there. Some had cigarettes where when women weren't allowed to smoke, and they would hide them in their canes, and just all kinds of cool stuff. And so we finished up that little area there, weren't there very long, and she finally said, "Hey, do you want to see some of the artwork?" And it's like, I'm not much of an art connoisseur, so I was like, "Well, I don't know, what do you guys think?" And he said, "Yeah, let's go look at it." But I looked around. I really didn't see much art in this place. She said, "Oh, great, I'd love to show you some of this amazing artwork we have." So she said, "Follow me." So we walked over just a few yards away from where we were, and she goes to this blank wall. She hits a little lever, grabs it with two hands, and pulls open this like secret door. The whole wall opened up and there was a passageway. She said, "Follow me." And the group of about 6 of us followed her, and we went into this little hallway and ducked into a room. And here was this beautiful, amazing artwork. And like I said, I'm not much of a connoisseur, but I was blown away by the beauty and by the uniqueness of all these different types of art. It was so fascinating. And if you know me, I tend to be a little handsy, right? I tend to touch things, right? I remember one particular case, I was looking at this little piece of art. Laura said, "Steve, don't touch that." I'm all right. I'll be all right. Don't touch that. Well, the lady came over and asked her, "Hey, by the way, what does this piece of art sell for?" She said, "Oh, $750,000. And Laura's like, "See, don't touch that." But we went from room to room to room, and it seemed like every time we thought we had completed the little tour, she took us to another spot. And then she took us up the hallway and to step into another room, and then to another room. And we just kept finding room after room with fascinating art. We had ducked into this place to try to get out of the rain for a few minutes, and we ended up spending half a day there. It was absolutely amazing. And all the little things we discovered about the art and the artists and the artwork, it was so incredible. Then at the very end of the tour, when we came back sort of out into the showroom area again, she said, "Hey, do you want to see some of the gems?" And we're like, that's cool. She said, because I'm really a gemologist and I'd really like to show you the gems. So it's like, okay, cool. So she walks us over to their gem case and she starts showing us around. And she has this huge, gaudy, huge ring there. And she says, you guys want to try this ring? This ring is worth $1 million. It's like, what? No. The lady's like, no, we can't do this. She's, no, really, I want you to try them on. And so she opens up the case. As soon as she does, 3 huge security guards come and stand behind us between the door and where this ring is at. And then she pulls out this huge diamond ring. And I can tell you, my wife put on this huge diamond ring that was worth $1 million and got to wear it for a couple of minutes. And each of the ladies did before she put it away. But it was just fascinating, all the amazing treasures that were in this room that we had no idea until someone took us in a tour through this room and through all the hidden little spaces, and we found it. And as we're going into this series called Party Jesus, yeah, it sounds like sort of a fun little theme, but we're going to be encountering treasures in each individual room or each individual story that we look at. We're going to find this treasure of where Jesus encounters people and he begins to share the truth of who he is and why he came and how that can change their lives. So this summer, as we go through this new series called Party Jesus, it's not just for fun. It's not just a fun little series. We're going to discover nuggets of truth. So picture with me, if you will, as we go through this series this summer, that we've ducked into an antique shop and someone says, hey, would you like to see the artwork? Hey, do you want to see the gems? And they open up the secret door and we walk into the hallways and room after room after room, or in this case, story after encounter after story, we're going to discover amazing truths, amazing applications of who Jesus is, why he came, and how that changes our lives. So guys, enjoy the series this summer. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great summer as we dig into Party Jesus. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you next week at our in-person worship gathering.